Good morning, Sagittarius. Welcome back to Tarot with Kat. I'm Kat. It's Monday, December 1st, and this will be your weekly tarot reading for December 1st through December 8th. So welcome back. If you haven't done so yet, I want to encourage you to smash that subscribe button right now. It's totally free, and you will get a free lifetime membership if you're one of the first 500. All right, so I've changed up decks this week. I've decided to use some different decks. I had pulled a bunch out for my Thanksgiving tarot reading I did. If you didn't catch it, go check that out. I want to encourage that. So I am using my oldest, probably the deck that I have owned the longest. It's just traditional Rider-Waite deck. I kind of hate that it doesn't have Pixie's name on it, but I've had this for maybe 30 years, but a long time. I've had this deck of cards. So I'm going to be doing our traditional Celtic cross spread with this deck. I'm going to put links to all of my decks that I talked about in my Thanksgiving video, all the different decks that I use or will be using. I will link in the description of the video below. So this is going to be the reading for Sagittarius for the week of December 1st through December 8th. Lots of huge things going on planetarily, you guys. Like November 27th, Saturn went back direct after being in retrograde with all these other planets that were in retrograde and causing all this stuff to stir up and people to feel like they're kind of stagnant and not moving forward or having to, all this stuff. And now we are stepping into not just Sag season, which I love Sagittarius. I'm a Sagittarius as well. Welcome to Sag season. Happy birthday if it's your birthday today, and this is finding you on your birthday. But we're also entering this grand water trine that we haven't seen in human history, which is amazing and bringing powerful things for all signs, especially water signs, All right, so let's get into our reading, Sagittarius, for this week. All right, Sag, we are coming up as a Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles this week. Crossing us as our challenge obstacle awareness is a Five of Swords. Below us is part of our subconscious, tool shed, the Tower. Stepping out of our immediate past, the Moon. This feels so like what's been happening, at least to me, energy-wise. Okay, in our crown here, up here in our ideal, in our crown, we've got a Nine of Wands. In our immediate future, mid-December, Eight of Swords. Ourselves and our environment this first week of December, Four of Swords. A lot of swords coming up. Our environment around us this first week of December, Queen of Wands, my favorite card, and that's me. She is me with the cat there too, and that's our environment. Yay. Cool. That's reassuring. After all these swords and stuff I see, that's reassuring. And then hopes and fears sector here, Chariot. For sure, our hope isn't that Chariot. That's what we're trying to do. And then final potential outcome, beautiful Three of Cups. I love it. I love that. I love that for us. Okay. I'm going to pull one more card. And again, I've swapped out decks. And this is my Arcanum tarot deck, and this one is really meant to have for the reversals to matter as well. In these general readings, I don't do reversals. Like if I'm doing a very specific reading with a friend or somebody who's asked me, I'll read reversals, and often then only if it's like a major arcana or something. Otherwise, I'll just turn it back the right side up. But this is meant for reversals to count. So I shuffled it very specifically, turning half around, shuffling again. I went through a whole process. So we're going to draw just one card out of here that will be further clarification or confirmation for us. We'll leave it right like that. We'll leave it hidden until the end of the reading. So that's a change up from our normal holographic Rider-Waite deck that I usually pull from. We're using a different deck now. All right, Sag. This week we're coming up like a Four of Pentacles, and so we've got some stability, but we're not feeling super stable with the stuff we're going through. We're feeling very guarded of our finances this week. Afraid to, well, we got to be smart right now with what we're doing. We're in a phase where we're planning stuff, and we need to be wise about our finance. We're feeling very guarded about our finances, perhaps also because we're also being crossed by this Five of Swords. So it's important to know with the Four of Pentacles that you can't be too stingy. At some point you got to give back. You got to like let go, and you got to open those arms to give in order to receive, or else you never are going to. You cannot stay stuck in this Four of Pentacles energy here that we're feeling this week. And I don't think we are. I just feel like we're kind of stuck there right now. This is our temporary situation right now this week. So we're feeling that. We're being crossed by this Five of Swords. Fives are always off-putting. So you are the Four. You're focused on Pentacles. So you're focused on health, wealth, finances, getting, establishing that. But you're being crossed by these swords. This communications, thoughts, arguments. The Five of Swords is off balance, off-putting, arguments that weren't, neither side really won. That kind of stuff is going on and crossing you right now. These swords, it's arguments, it's stuff like that. And so it's no wonder that in our environment this week, we are taking the route of the Four of Swords. So we are the Four of Pentacles. We are also the Four of Swords. Fours are good. Fives are bad. Fives are off balance, off-putting. And we're dealing with some of that. We're being crossed by some of that this week. Look at us in our subconscious tool shed. What we're bringing with us is this Tower, this complete shaking of our foundation. Our life has been completely rattled, and we have taken a totally different approach, rebuilding things from the ground up. And so we're bringing that with us, that experience, that tower experience. It's part of our subconscious. It's so we've been through it, and so we are stepping out of this moon and this another major arcana in our recent past in November, this moon card, and it's paths unknown, and that's not surprising either. We had all these planets in retrograde. All this stuff was starting to come back up to us. We're working on like major big life changes, many of us, and all these things coming up, and we're going, I don't know why. How come the path is not being revealed to me yet? It's because all these planets were in retrograde, and we're now like, these paths are going to be getting revealed now with what's happening with this grand water trine and things opening up and planets going direct. Answers are coming. And so, but we've stepped out of this unknown, the path's unknown. The moon was coming up when I was doing readings in November. The moon was coming up here in our hopes and fears section and all that, because that's what we were headed for. And that's also what we've been through now. So in your crowning section, Sag, is this Nine of Wands. So it is perseverance. It's not giving up, even though you've got all this work to do. It's still standing guard and still standing duty and not giving up. It's in our crown. So I think it's telling us not to give up, but I also think it's in our crown because it's warning us about exhaustion. It's the card of exhaustion. And so this is a warning to us when we've been through the Tower and we're dealing with swords. Beware of exhaustion is just what that, and I think we totally got that, because when we get to our staff here, it's totally, we've got it. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. So we are stepping into this Eight of Swords mid-December, again feeling entrapped, feeling more swords, feeling probably got a lot. I mean, we're dealing with stuff that You can control your actions. You can't control other people's actions. That's something that's important to remember. When you start to remember that and only focus on the things that you have control over, then the blindfold comes off and you step out of this self-imposed imprisonment, this Eight of Swords, okay? So, because we're going to be feeling some Eight of Swords. And Sagittarius often, and depending on the kind of Sag you are, very empathetic. Like we feel other people, we worry about other people, we take on other people's baggage sometimes too. And when you do that, that's when you start feeling the swords. That's when you can't see your way out, because your way is getting mixed up with everybody else's way. Kind of. So yeah, anyway, gonna have some Eight of Swords having us feel maybe a little bit of feeling uncertain and entrapped and not knowing what to do. So we, in our environment this week, are the Four of Swords, which is a beautiful card. I highlighted it in my scariest cards of the tarot video when I went over the swords deck. It has a neat tradition. It's lying in a coffin, grateful to be back alive. That's what they used to do way back in the day, medieval times. They would just be contemplative. So it's a word of restful contemplation and not communicating, staying silent. So I think that is super great advice when we're up against these swords, is challenging us, these arguments and things, or people wanting to engage us in argument, and it's just a sucker of our energy. It's, you know, it's tapping into our old selves, our past, our the things that our trigger points, you know, that we want to be over and done with. So the best way to get over and done with that is quiet contemplation. So I feel like Sages, we're going to be doing a lot of meditating this week. Just a lot of, I need to take a walk. I need to take a break. I need to think about this. I need to meditate on this. Or, yeah. Our environment around us is giving it this beautiful Queen of Wands, which I love this card. She is me. She's fire, so she's Sag. She's got her black cat there in her card. I got my black cat here. And she's very passionate. She's very straightforward, direct, all about following her passions, and also very loving, caring, nurturing, all about also education. She's a teacher. Yeah, so that's what our environment is giving us, that beautiful energy, that follow your passion and be direct energy, because you got this. And then the Chariot in our hopes and fears, for sure hopes, is this Chariot, being able to harness, being able to have that temperance and harness the yin and the yang, the light and the dark, keep things balanced in order to move forward, stepping through that portal and making that, you know, taking advantage of this grand water trine that we have going on right now is what you got to do. You got to be that Chariot. That's also how you get out of this Eight of Swords feeling that you're going to step into in mid-December. It's also how you beat this exhaustion for this keeping pressing forward, doing the work in your crown. You beat that exhaustion by being the Chariot, by keeping a balance between rest and work, home and work, you know, that kind of thing. Get enough sleep, all of that. And then what a beautiful final potential outcome. Three of Cups, which is gorgeous. It's parties, get-togethers, celebrations, networking. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous potential final outcome, Sagittarius. I wonder what our confirmation card will be, and it will matter whether it's upside down or reverse. So we'll read whichever it is. Wow. I mean, advice about coming at what we've come out of. We've been through we've been through it. Obviously, we're still feeling it, but I feel like we're proceeding with caution, being contemplative, following our passions, having temperance, being that Chariot, pressing forward with a beautiful final outcome is how I feel. So let's see. Luxury, and again, it's right side up, not reversed. I love it. So luxury, which is Nine of Pentacles. So it's a beautiful card, the Nine of Pentacles. I like the illustrations in this Arcanum deck. You know, they take from the traditional Rider-Waite Pamela Coleman Smith illustrations, but they have to me almost like a Frida Kahlo. Kind of feel like she looks like Frida Kahlo to me in this picture, and with the, but she's got the 9 Pentacles, and the card means luxury. You've built a life of comfort, beauty, and security. Savor your achievements. Savor your achievements. It's comfort, abundance, and self-sufficiency. Savor your achievements. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful confirmation card. I love it. I love that for a Sagittarius. Thank you for being here this week. I hope to see you next week. If you've stayed this long and you've enjoyed it, please take a second, hit that thumbs up. It helps my channel so much. Please smash that subscribe button where you'll get free extended readings and so much more. And you'll be a free VIP life member if you're one of the first 500. And I'll see you back here next week, Sagittarius.